So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. Three brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there's no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after class is when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
Here we go. So, I don't know. What are we talking about?
So
Brotherhood?
How long you've been training?
6 years.
6 years.
Jesus.
How long you've really been training?
2.5.
So 6 years on the mat. What is the main reason why we develop such a strong relationships on the mat with others?
Well, it's funny because I know where we're going with this, but when we were talking to Nick, and he talked about like the strongest bond are guys that go into battle together. It's stronger than family and marriage and things like that. I was thinking about it because we were talking about the battle on the mat and the what's developed on the mat, not necessarily in war. But the way I was thinking about it is, I don't know why, but it made me start thinking about being playful as an adult, because we don't do much of that. And even though we're trying to choke each other, even though we're trying to smash each other, we're being playful out there. And it made me think about like the bonds you make when you're a kid. You know, you have all these friendships when you're a little kid, but the guys that you play with best, have the most fun with, or gel with, are more of a lifelong friendship. You remember them. You remember their name. You remember the things you did together. I think that's part of it. When you're out there on the mat, and you are rolling, you develop these bonds, one, because obviously, you're putting trust into this person that they're not going to hurt you in any way. But there's that physicality of it that we don't get much of, once we're an adult. It goes away for some reason. And I think that part of it really builds a strong bond between you and your training partners.
There is something to it. The playfulness, definitely, which we don't do as adults enough. That gives us, I think, the getaway point from the stress of life, stress of careers, stress of our day-to-day, even stress of our spouse, our kids. You know, like we love our families, but it's still layers of stress that we have to figure out. And this gives us an opportunity to get away from it, forget about all this, and be simply playful, simply do what we love. At the same time, that strength of trust, supportiveness of each other, ability to carry each other on our backs, you know, and sometimes even helping each other out off the mat. Like how many times you step on the mat and you think about it as like, man, that was a shitty day. And the other guy goes like, yeah, mine sucked too. And okay, let's go. Okay. Like it sucks. Let's do it. You know what I mean? And I think that ability to carry some of that weight and struggle of other people, that's a layer 2 of all of this. And then the third layer is the fact that I think unquestionably we put our lives in the hands of our partners. Like I think to the outsider, jiu-jitsu might look very playful, very innocent, it's just guys or girls rolling around, you know. But if you look at how severe this could end if actions not taken correctly, you know, this is a highly dangerous activity that we are doing. The only reason why it's not dangerous because we have this amazing thing. One is our intelligence when we let go, and 2 is the fact of tapping when necessary. And those are the rules of engagement that we all, you know, inherited from the other side. But at the same time, if I tap but you don't let go, now the mutual respect and trust doesn't exist. And I think taking these 3 layers of playfulness to carrying each other through the hardships, and third is the trust that we build between each other, I think that creates an extremely cohesive environment. And there's many other podcasts and many other speakers talking about this, but this is often compared to this cohesiveness, you know, with military people. And I'm not comparing jiu-jitsu to military. Don't take me wrong on this. But psychologically, when you break this down, many do talk about this partnership that's getting built between us. I might not agree with you, but I got your back.
Yeah. And I think it's because we share something.
Yes.
You know, too often we don't share anything. In the episode, you know, we were talking about in the cubicle. And when you don't share anything that's real with the person in the cubicle next to you, well, then you don't really have a bond. You don't care about them that much. You don't want anything bad to happen, but, you know, whatever. You punch in, you punch out. And I think when you share the time on the mat and you share the experience, it's quite bonding. And you might not even really, like, outside of the academy, have anything in common with that person. You could be diametrically opposed on a number of issues. But because you've shared something with them, there's that bond. And when there's that bond and that sharing, you can overlook or be a little more understanding of that person and what they're going through. And hopefully it's reciprocated. And then, you know, you move forward together, right? There's some commonality that helps us move forward together.
Yeah.
Where when you don't have that, it's, well, you're wrong. I don't agree with that. You know, instead, but you might still think that person's wrong. You might not agree with them, but there's something there that makes you pause, and try and maybe see it their way, or be more forgiving. There's just something there that makes you want to work things out, let's say, or at least be in a community.
Right. What,
you know?
I would even take this deeper now. As you're talking, when I think about this, some of these conflicts and issues, oftentimes they are not even taken under consideration because of the common denominator that we have, which is the love for jiu-jitsu.
Sure.
So we might disagree on politics or views or whatever decisions that we make in life. And the moment we step on the mat, those are kind of put on a side, and we deal with this raw environment of jiu-jitsu where nothing else matters. Our bad, good days, they don't matter. Doesn't matter whether you make $1 million or 40,000. It doesn't matter what car you drive. It doesn't matter whether you have kids or you are single. It doesn't matter whether you're 50 or 20. It doesn't. What matters is that we are brought together by this very raw activity, and we have to trust each other no matter what our views are. Think about it. How many times we find ourselves in a spot where you might even fundamentally disagree with somebody on the mat based on their perspective, politics, religion, life, some of the events that are taking place. But yet, you will slap and bump. You will have a good roll with them. You're going to smile. You're going to maybe playful trash talk or whatever it is. You're going to have a good training. You're going to walk away. And then moment you leave the door, you remember about the differences that take place. This tells us right off the bat that mat is what they say is like equalizer. It doesn't matter who you are, but it brings us together.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I mean about that community,
Yeah,
that commonality, that shared experience. I think when people share experiences together, that's what's really meaningful. There's, you brought up like politics and stuff like that. There's people that I do not follow, not even not follow, but I'm not even friends with, like on Facebook, or I don't follow them on Instagram, because I don't want what we have to be influenced by those other things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because if we look at what we have and we base our relationships on that, we can get through that other stuff. And even if we don't change each other's mind on anything, I don't have to have that person think like me at some point. Like I said a little bit ago, we can still move forward together. And then those things like that, those material things you were talking about, you do start to realize that that stuff doesn't matter, or that political viewpoint doesn't matter, or what that person dresses like doesn't matter, or their tattoos don't matter. It's that shared experience is what's really important, because it helps you weed through all that bullshit, and just have better relationships. And for me, that's what life is really all about, is those better relationships. So yeah, I love the fact that it can be 5 minutes of, we don't have to think about any of that. And that 5 minutes influences all that other stuff, rather than that outside stuff influencing those 5 minutes and me looking across the mat and going, yeah, that guy's a liberal, or that guy's a Republican, a conservative, and I don't want to roll with that guy because of what he thinks outside of here.
Yeah.
No, it makes me want to befriend them more and weed through all that stuff that really isn't important.
Yeah,
It's cool.
and I think that's one of the more beautiful things about jiu-jitsu is the fact, as this sport and art continues growing, we were going to have a larger and larger diversity of people. And yet, it creates a very equal environment where we all can train, we all can bond, and now it becomes very internationally known too. It becomes, almost I don't think we are yet at the point of jiu-jitsu being a household name, but it's definitely getting popularity. It's gaining that traction. And more people do it. Some people love it, and some people want to keep it very private. But no matter how you slice it, it is an equal opportunity for all of us to train, continue building the community. And in order for that to happen, we do need to trust each other and, continue training.
Yeah. And I think one great thing that Nick said was that, like, it weeds out the really, really negative people. They're out there. There's always going to be some, but just the nature of it weeds that negativity out, because the majority of the people on the mat are going to push back against it in very subtle ways. And that negativity, that negative person is either going to change, or they're going to go, they're going to seek like-minded, and it won't be here. It'll be someplace else.
Yeah. We recently, a couple episodes ago, we talked about this, and it's that's the unique thing. It is like sometimes you look around the room and it's like, well, either this guy's going to have to change or he's not going to stick around for a long time. It's simply because he will leave, and it's either he adapts to the larger group and the chemistry that's happening on the mat, or unfortunately they won't survive. And, oftentimes, that's better route for the larger group. Unfortunately, not every academy is best for everybody, right?
No,
they all have
go find your own.
Yeah. They all have individual communities, chemistries, and you have to find the one that fits best for you. So
and always remember this: there's always one asshole in the room, and if you can't find him, it's probably you.
I remember that. That was awesome. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good point to finish this takeaway on.
All right,
later.
See you.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.